Welcome back to another Rockford CCG attack package series video. Today we are looking over the Slam attack package. We are going to be using all symbol for this short list here, just because the all symbol has more synergistic cards that work with the Slam keyword, or trait I should say. So we're going to get right into it. We'll start with attacks. We're going to go Nutcracker. When Mortal Kombat came out, this card bumped up the Slam package just a bit, I would say. It was already kind of potent, but this card's just insane. You get 4 damage if your opponent's a male. You also can add a card that is, doesn't count towards progressive, as in Season Guide or Sense of Morals to the beginning of your card pool, or actually in any order to draw a card. So basically what the Slam package kind of wants to do is just draw a bunch of cards, play a lot of attacks, and just kind of overwhelm your opponent. So we got Nutcracker. It's a 4 low 4. It's a low zone, so it's great. It has Breaker 2, so it's great to block with if you need to in a pinch. So let's keep moving on. We got Mayfee's Assault from Cowboy Bebop. It's another low attack. It has a first E where you can discard 2 momentum to commit all your opponent's face down foundations. So there are a lot of effects that have a flip cost to them, or if you're playing a character such as like Vicious that forces your opponent to flip cards, this actually comes in quite handy. Also, it has an all enhance, which is you add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. So let's say you discard 2 momentum. You could choose the order they land in your discard pile. So if you have an attack and a foundation or whatever, or 2 attacks, and you want one of the attacks over the other, you lay the attack you want on top, and then you use the all E to grab that out of your discard pile. So, and also it's a 3 low 4, has a +1 low block. I don't know why this card isn't worth more, but it's fantastic. Probably because it's just a Slam, and the add to the top card of your discard pile to your hand is symbol trait locked, so it's probably why. One of the 3 diffs I put into this list, Beast Cannon from Warrior is the Knight or Platinum. It allows you to draw a card if it's your first attack this turn. Also, it gives your next Slam attack this turn -2 difficulty. So if you have a 4 diff, it's going to be -2. So with progressive, normally it's a 5, so it's on a 3. Also, there is 1-2 check in this list that you don't have to play. But normally you can play everything. You check a 3 or a 5, unless you have a couple other pieces that have some 4s. So, but this is definitely probably the best lead-in attack. Just because it makes your turn much easier, or also it's a really good turn string ender, because then you can play your last Slam like a Nutcracker or something with -2 progressive, -2 difficulty. So it's really on a 2+ progressive. So check this one out. We got Magnet Slam, another low attack. It is pretty full of lows. I think there's only like 1 high, maybe 1 or 2 highs, but most of them are lows and mids. We got Stun 1, it has a really nice +1 high. Also, it has this E where your opponent can attempt to partially block the attack. So if they don't have a low, you're going to be hitting them to get that momentum, maybe to fuel Mayfee's Assault, maybe to fuel, I believe it's Inner Voice, we have in the Foundation base. So yeah, it's a really good card. It's been played heavily since actually it's came out. It's one of the really good opener or bread and butter attacks, just a poke and string. So yeah, so let's move on. Gyro Crush. It's one of the few highs, like I said. Its stats aren't that great. It's a 3 high for 3, but if you're able to draw a couple extra cards during this enhanced step and then activate the E on the card, which is E cost is draw a card, and then you get +1 damage for each card you've drawn during this enhanced step. So if you've drawn a couple other cards beforehand with other effects, and then you play this, you can get some extra damage. But you really are just playing it for the card draw on it, and it's a really good poke. So you're looking at a 3 high for 4 base. I could see this would be really good in Gil, because he'd be able to give it +4 speed. Vicious would be able to attack another 2 damage onto it, and if they don't block it, you draw another card. So you're getting a 2 for 1 special, which is great. So we're going to move on. We got Turbo Slam. It's one of the 2 combos in this attack lineup. Slam, Combo Slam, Combo E, add 1 foundation you can normally play from your hand to your staging area. So you could drop like a Petrol Power or a Feral to give extra speed, or a Merciless Master to stack something, or a HiFi Stereo if your character is a male, which I believe all the characters I've listed are male, and you can discard a card from their hand. So it's a 3 mid 5. It has some nice damage. Its speed's a little suspect, but it's a really good card because it allows you to build during your turn as you're attacking. Yamato Soramu, it's a reversal and slam, so it's one of the few reversals you get in the slam package. Also, if you play this and your opponent has more ready than committed foundations, you can draw a card or add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So it's just another momentum gem for Mayfee's Assault. Also, it's another way to draw more cards into your hand if you're playing a higher attack count deck, so you can just keep fueling your string. Templars Justice, it's one of the couple of 3 diffs I threw in here. This card I've gotten a lot of respect for by playing Kolokon, but since he can't play all, so it's not that big of a deal. We got a bunch of all characters we can play this with, but if your first attack hits, so like you play a Magnet Slam and they can't partial it, it hits. Or they can't full block it, it hits, and then this actually gets +2/+2, so it becomes a 5 mid 5. It's a really good turn ender. If you play Beast Cannon and then as your last attack, and then you -2 progressive, you have Templars Justice. It's 1+ progressive, so it's not horrible for a 1 for 5/5. That's not that bad. One of the cards that you could use as a kill card, Hydrofluoric. It has powerful 3. It has a combo attack foundation, so you're gonna have to play an attack then a foundation somehow. And then combo E, you may discard foundations from your card pool in addition to momentum to pay for this powerful cost. So you can pitch them. You can pitch a foundation, get powerful 3, kick momentum, get more powerful 3. Especially after a Beast Cannon, you go Beast Cannon, Foundation, Hydrofluoric. You're able to play this on a 2 diff plus progressive. It's another low attack and has a spicy +1 low block. Only big bad thing about this card is it rolls a 2. Cossack Slam. I almost didn't add this in, but then I read it again, and it allows you to ready a foundation that has been ready this combat phase, which is insane. Especially if you're going deep into a turn and you need to be able to pass checks, this will allow you to do it. Plus, it has Desperation 2, so if you play Beast Cannon and then play this and you're in Desperation, it's a 0 diff, 4 mid 3, which is kind of nutty. But again, you have to find outside damage, so like let's say Taliban or that's on the first attack. So like Metal Man, Yellow Devil, Vicious, even Donavan can add 2 damage to it. So something you can look into. Gil gives 3 speed to it, so it's a 7 mid 3, which isn't, I guess, horrible. So moving on to the last attack, Ring Slam. So the last 3 diff. It's a 3 mid 3. You can look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. So if you want to drop another attack after this one, you can look at it, and if you like the check, keep it. If not, discard it. Also, it allows you to filter the top card of your deck during the end phase. So we have 3 actions that really complement the Slam package. The first one's going to be Transform. This is the whole reason to play the Slam package. It allows you to add a Slam with a difficulty 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand, and then the next time you play that, you move Transform down as a face down foundation, ready. So you get to tutor a card out and build during your combat phase, which is very, very good. Also, you have an R remove if, say, your opponent adds a foundation to their staging area during the combat phase. You can remove it from the game. I have never seen that R played before because the F is too good not to play it for the F. That's what I'm trying to say. So next action we have is Kiora. It allows you to play a slam when you play a slam attack. This and the slam attack do not count towards progressive for the rest of the turn. Also, before the damage step of your opponent's attack, you can use this to give it -2 damage, and then grab 1 non-reversal slam attack from your discard pile to your hand. So you can tutor another card out. We have Mayfee's Assault, we have Transform, we have Kiora to keep filling our hand up, so we can just be an offensive pressure type deck. I think that's what this Slam package really leans itself to. You can just apply massive amounts of pressure. And one other action you can play is Not Over Yet. Your next attack this turn gets +2/+2, it ignores progressive, and you can discard cards, draw X +1, X equals the number of other cards in your card pool, so you can filter some cards to your hand, or you can be able to make your last attack and not ignore progressive and get +2/+2. Foundations, we're going to go first with Inner Voice. It's from the John Taliban starter decks. R, destroy, discard one momentum. After a punch, kick, or slam attack deals damage, your attacks with that keyword get -2 difficulty for the rest of this turn. I don't see this played that much a lot, but I think it's a really interesting card because if you're able to just hit your opponent, at all, and you can just kick a momentum, destroy this, and then you just go to town because you're playing everything on -2 difficulty, which is pretty cool. Which is a really easy way to kill your opponent because you're just going to be dropping. You basically are playing on -2 progressive, I guess. And then if you have like Kioras or whatever, sky's the limit. Called the Dragon Queen. It's from the Endine starter decks. It has some discard pile removal on the static, but really E-commit if your zone of your charge or slam attack is mid, you get to draw a card. So for an E-commit, if you play one of your many mid attacks, you get to draw a card. Can't complain there. Petrol Power. As long as you have 3 or more foundations, you get to add this to your staging area during your combat phase, and then after it hits your staging area, you respond to give your next attack +2 damage. So it's a way to keep building and attacking at the same time. HiFi Stereo. Gender male. R, after this is hit your staging area after a foundation, so any foundation. R commit after a foundation is added to your staging area, your opponent discards 1 card. So it's like, say you drop this with a Turbo Slam, you get to do that. Say you use a Petrol Power, you get to do that. So say you transform because it becomes, that I might check because transform becomes a face down foundation, so it should activate HiFi Stereo as well. We have Merciless Master. Add the card to the top of our deck to guarantee checks. Also, once per turn, if we have some momentum and we want to draw, say we have an attack in our momentum, we want it, we can put that there, play one of the many effects that draw cards, or we're able to, somehow discard off the top of our deck and use a Mayfee as Assault. So, just some neat tricks there. And Feral gives us +1 speed. Also, our commit at the start of my end phase or your end phase, you draw a card. Only if you played 1 attack this turn. We are going to be attacking pretty much every turn. Maybe even turn 1, but we won't have a sound on turn 1, so that doesn't really work. So turn 2 and on, this card will be live, and we can always have 1 extra card in our hand. So we're +1 hand sizing our character with this card, as long as we attack. And finally, Eliminating the Van. It has 1 effect that's a Vicious Eve. So if you're playing Vicious, you get the flip gain through vitality, but you're really playing this card for the damage reduction or the damage pump because we're going to be drawing so many cards that you're going to be pitching away stuff just to be able to do extra damage or maybe give some damage negation. So some characters that I've chosen that will kind of work with the slam package because most of them have 2 or there's so Hydrofluoric and Nutcracker have more than 2, but everything else has 2 or less. So Gil would be really good because he's going to be adding like 3 to 4 speed and gaining vitality every time you play an attack, and you draw more cards to keep pushing. And the only issue is he's a 5 hand size character, and a lot of actions in a 5 hand size character is kind of rough. Sometimes you can get some really bad starting hands. Donavan 2. He's probably the best general character. Maybe next to him and Vicious are really, really good as generalized characters. He may not be able to add as much damage because the slams usually have like 2 keywords. But he still has that damage negation, and then he gets to draw a card after an attack is blocked. So you get to just keep adding cards to your hand. Vicious, I think he may be the best slam character outside of maybe Taliban. I don't know. I think he's better than Taliban, but you got foundation control. You also get damage pump. and if it's not blocked, you draw a card. So you can kind of double up on some of the drawing a card abilities. Plant Man, he can make everything fast. You can also choose what you can look at top 3. You can discard 2 of them. You can guarantee your check going late, or if you want to like time a draw perfectly. Also, you can gain a lot of vitality. He is a 7-hander, so he works really well having a bunch of actions in your deck because he's going to have extra space to hold 1 or 2 actions in his hand. Also, he gets speed for each momentum, so as long as you're playing attacks every turn and getting momentum, you're going to be able to make your attacks super fast. Turbo Man, he's going to be able to build during the combat phase, and he's going to be able to give attacks +2/+2 as long as you commit the foundation that was added to your staging area this turn. He's also 7-hander, so he can work better with actions. Taliban, he gives your first attack +2/+2, so also if you hit with a slam, you to commit him to draw a card. Draw 2 cards, so it's also another good way just to keep pounding away and keeping pressure upon your opponent. One of my favorite slam characters, Metal Man, since your non-throw attacks deal damage with his ability, you get to add it face down during the end phase, so he can cycle transform over and over and over again as long as you are able to grab slams out of your discard pile and pass checks. And also, that's with his bottom ability. You discard a card and you add 1 face down foundation, and you get +2 damage. Ringman, he makes your second attack super easy, but hits hard and fast. Plus, he can draw a card on defense when your opponent plays the second attack of the turn. Also, we have Yellow Devil. E4+, your attack gets +2 damage and stun X. X equals the number of foundations in your card pool, where you may not get the stun X that much. But he's one of the best Hydrofluoric characters because of his R, where you can commit 1 or more foundations. After you commit 1 or more foundations to pass the check and an attack, you ready them by committing him. So you can play your like Hydrofluoric at the end, commit all your foundations, commit him to ready it, and then you can give it stun X with all the foundations maybe you have in the card pool, and then you can give it also powerful 3 by using Hydrofluorics. So he's also playable while committed. So he's one of those really good characters where he has 2 abilities that synergize very well with him. So I don't have any extra cards in here. No sideboard cards today, guys. So that's pretty much it for the video. I want to thank Jasco Games and our Patreon sponsors for sponsoring Rockford CCG. Hit that notification button, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below what you would like to see as an attack package video. I do have about 3 or 4 more to do. And then we'll be done with this series and maybe moving on hopefully to Soul Calibur characters. So we'll check you guys later. Have a good night. See ya.